Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 1st, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Thursday, happy New Year, happy all of the things. Looks like we made it all the way around the bend. Sorry, I missed New Year's Eve. Mea culpa, my bad. I am kowtowing to the table at this point as we speak. Things got in the way. Actually, laundry got in the way, but we'll do a whole recap. We will get into it. Actually, before I do, let me not miss this. Let me not forget. I'm always, it can always happen. And I don't like missing my newsies. I don't like missing the roll call. So we're going to do that actually right up top. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. All right. Stephanie, Edward, Mama Bear, Aaron, and Kira. And also, Kira, hopefully feel better if you're listening to this and you're still under the weather. Everyone's getting sick this season, man. Some stuff is going around, some bad bugs, a lot of flu. Technically, we could do some side news right now. It started in Australia, and then I think they were doing flu shots. Obviously that's been, a thing throughout the whole winter season, but they said that the efficacy of these flu shots was about 40% because it missed this strain of flu that has been spreading. So, and not to say that I started in Australia, I just think that was where I had first heard a report from it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Hopefully, Kira, feel better. Also, shout outs in terms of the promos with the roll call. Hit up Nail Amethyst. Kira, that's, she does nails. She does beautiful, wonderful nails. Check them out. Also, check out my homie Ryan. Check out his band Sculptor. It's like a doom kind of metal. It's got a little fusion-y kind of vibe going on. It's awesome. It's legit. I'll post links in the show notes in a little bio. You can kind of check that out, whenever they're performing, and you can, in terms of the Alchemist. I'm fucking up the shit. I'm Alchemist. It's Alchemist. You can check them out. Check out the nails. Get yourself an appointment. Definitely worth it. But yeah, okay, roll call's done. Awesome. Did a little side news up top. That's what we're doing. That's how we're moving in 2026, okay? Okay, let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about New Year's Eve. So, I was determined to be productive, actually. I said, I'm going to be on some actually GTL type shit, on my Jersey Shore shit. Gym, let's say, maybe not so much tan. Think of another T word that associates with my lifestyle. And some laundry. That was what I was going to do to close out 2025. That felt good. That felt right. And then my homie hit me up and he said, why don't you come to Northside and we can hang out? And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds like a banger plan. But I'm still going to do the whole GTL thing. I'm going to do all that, right? So that is what I proceeded to do. Granted, not in that order. We got up early. We got to the laundromat. And there really wasn't any... Actually, I'm actually remembering this story as I'm talking about it. So I go in. Overall, it's cool. There's not that many people there. Literally, I think there was 3 or 4 people, doing laundry and stuff. One of them was a worker. And there was just this guy. He was just yapping so loudly. He was being so obnoxious. And I'm sure you're hearing me say this, and you got a little smirk, Isaiah of all people is saying this. And it's yeah, I know this is a bit hypocritical. The pot is calling the kettle black here. But I feel like I'm only like this in city social settings. or like I'm with certain people who I'm very comfortable with, and it's like, okay, and by all means judge me, you can, I am, I'm deserving of it, fine. But I don't try not to do it in like 8 o'clock in the morning at a laundromat. That's weird to me. I don't know, but whatever, do your thing. So I was kind of put off by that. I get my laundry in there, and then I skedaddle to my car, even though it's cold. I'm like, I would rather sit in my car, not even turn on the heat or whatever, because this is just, it's quieter. It's more peaceful. And then they left, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back in because it's warmer. And then they came back. I was salty as hell. I was like, I can't escape this guy. But he was a little bit quieter throughout the day. Anyway, we get our laundry done. No problems, no hassles. We go to the gym. I am decided to do a reduced workout session. Pretty much I did everything but cardio. I did 15 minutes of Stairmaster. Y'all know how that goes. It's been good, in terms of just the training sessions. Well, not training sessions, lifting sessions, gym sessions. That's the word I'm looking for. Wasn't too busy, so that was good. I was able to get on everything I wanted to get on. And then post that, I came home and I took a fat nap. It was good. I really have liked this whole mode, even though I do miss, doing an episode. It feels weird. It feels out of step to not record on a day, for sure. But I do think it's nice to just be able to say, hey, I need to get this rest, because I remember even on the day I woke up, I was like, I'm so tired. I want to go back to bed, but I have to do this laundry. So I just often run out of like physical energy. I run out of gas, and I just need the rest. So it's good that I'm taking it, I feel. But then I get up and we head to Northside. So pretty much I was greeted with really good news from my friend. I was really hyped. They landed their house. They got a new house. They closed everything, and they were on vacation. So I just couldn't imagine that they were able to do this whole whirlwind, week. I was so just so shocked and happy for them. They're already now in the phase of packing up and everything like that. So that's going to be, very interesting, very crazy, very wild. But we got to go to the new house and check it out. I love it. It's an adorable little cute house. They have a nice little green light situation, which is a thing I don't think I've talked about shit about it on the pod, but I have a beef with The Great Gatsby. I've told them about this, or at least I told one of my friends, and it is just that the annoying details about Great Gatsby makes me hate Fitzgerald. I'm just not the biggest fan because of that book. And I mean, by all means, if you're an enjoyer, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. I just remember having to read that book in school and just being so annoyed by it. And there's other things about the book, and I don't want to get into the weeds about it, whatever. But needless to say, the emphasis on the green light and the eyes on the fucking billboard, just, I didn't care. Boring. So whenever I see a green light, I have but it was so cute here. It was a nice kind of irony. I'm like, actually, maybe I could dig a green light. But I got the little cribs house tour. Like I said, cozy, love it. They got a backyard. It's so adorable. Anyway, after that, we hit Chameleon. I got 3 crazy slices. I got a sweet potato slice. That wasn't a good one. I feel like they've made that before recently, but and then there was one that had radish on it and some other things on it, but the radish was the most noticeable because I love radishes. It was a good reminder too. I think I need to get back into my radish game, start incorporating that every once in a while into my meals. That sounds good. But that was the Bianca slice. So that was very yummy. And then what else was there? The veggie was also good, but I cannot remember for the life of me. That might have been the veggie slice, the one with the radish on. I don't know. I'm getting confused already, and I'm just talking about pizza slices. I got those 3 slices, though, and then an order of Cajun fries. So that was good. That hit the spot. But I was determined because I was in a celebratory mood. The vibes were good. It's New Year's Eve. The homies are back. I'm back in town, in terms of I'm back in Northside. I'm ready to rip it. So I got... what is it? 3 Floyds, Zombie Dust, nice little IPA situation, and then a shot of tequila. And I was like, yeah, we're getting down tonight. It's gonna be a good time. So that's how we started off the night. Then we hopped over to Tavern, and we're hanging out, having a just continuing the good times. I asked a couple of my friends, I was like, hey, do you guys want to buy some? I'll buy some shots. Are you down? And one was like, no, 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 no. And then the other homie who got the house was like, not here, not now, but later I could definitely be down. And I was like, I like that answer. So, we just, we're doing the PBRs and chilling. We're having a good time. We then proceed to go to Junkers later on. And that's where it gets a little bit more fun. It gets a little bit more interesting because, we're closing out we're closing out the year, closing out the end of the year. 2025 is about to be done, about to be dusted. We're at our favorite bar. I think at some point someone lights fireworks outside. So that was crazy. Didn't expect that. At one point there was a fire that like someone had tried to put out and then it was just kind of smoldering. And then I can't remember who suggested it, but they were like, you should take pictures. And I was like, yeah, I should get my picture taken over there. And so we did a little photo shoot. Maybe we should have put out the fire. Someone eventually did it. Okay. I'm no hero. I'm not a firefighter. All right. But, then we did get the shots. Shots were involved, as of course beer, and the ball drops. We saw Ryan Seacrest. Is he eternal? Is he forever? Is he possessed by Dick Clark or Casey Kasem? I don't. Do they live inside him? I don't know. These are all questions I was asking last night. But post that, a couple of the other homies, who were hanging out at the bar, they know, dude's showing the keys off, So we're thinking like, you know what? We should go back to your new crib and hang out and do the whole tour, do a little like free housewarming party. So that's what we did. And that was a good time. And, the vibes was like sweet. We did porch beers at that new crib. It felt like we were breaking it in. Like you break the bottle over the ship. Like it was a vibe. It was a good time. So, we get back to the house. I think, I guess OG HQ, soon to be, gone and forgotten. All the changes are happening so fast at the end of the year. The start of this year, whatever. We had some pizza rolls. And then that was pretty much it. That was all. That was how the night ended in terms of 2025 last Northside Hang. But yeah, then we got after it. I get home. We do some sleeping because I need to do more sleep. Of course, I'm just a tired guy. What can I say? I'm 35. I think I'm allowed to be tired. I need my naps. That's pretty much all my life is just a series of like pretty decent to long naps. But I wake up with just the worst hangover. I'm nasty. I don't feel good. I mean, I say the worst hangover, but just the worst hangover for a while. If I compare this hangover to like a hangover from my mid-20s, oh, it's light work. It's nothing. So like I'm okay. But I have a hankering. It's a new year. It's a new day. But I still have the same old urges. Am I not human? And I wanted McDonald's. I've been wanting McDonald's for a long time. I want a little McDonald's brekkie. So that's what I got. We go and I get a bacon and cheese biscuit. I get a sausage McMuffin. I get an order of hotcakes and a, oh my gosh, potato hash brown. Jeez, oh Pete's. Can't remember words. I get all that yummy goodness in a bag. And I take it home and I eat it like a gremlin, and it was very yummy. I love when you get the critical hit order, like they cooked everything the way that you wanted. Like the biscuit isn't soggy. They kind of almost overcook the McMuffin, so like it's nice and crispy and hard. Like the hotcakes were not doo-doo. Like it was good. And hash brown is almost always hitting. The hash brown is true north. That is something that I can recall and remember ever since like high school days, where the girlies would come through with their 2 hash browns because they knew that was all reliable. And I get it. It's a nice little snack. Like they were doing girl dinner teaching me back then. Anyway. Actually that's girl breakfast. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, that is, am I done? Is that everything? That can't be everything. I'm only like halfway through. No, we got to talk about today, the new year. Sorry. I'm ready to get to the news. But we get up, Like I said, a little hungover. The food was hitting though. Like I said, that was restorative. Take a little Advil. I go back to sleep because I'm like, I want to rest. I know there's going to be some gym time in my future, so I want to rest. I get up and do some more hanging out a little bit, and then I head to the gym. Now, I was expecting the gym to be pretty swamped, with New Year, new initiates for cheap at Planet Fitness. It's usually the wave. You never really know. But luckily, it was pretty light work. And I was able to get in my, pretty good workout, my full workout, which was nice. Smith machine, free weights, get the core work, get the filler work, get the cardio. Ankle has been feeling good, by the way. I guess a little ankle update. A couple of moments, during yesterday, but overall today it's been feeling good. I like that. I don't know if that's the Advil kind of talking and doing all the carrying, but I'm not complaining. But yeah, it was a solid workout. Also, it was very interesting as I was going through the gym. I hit my phone or whatever, and I saw like a Snapchat memory a year ago of me in the gym and like doing a gym selfie, and I was like, damn, like it's so weird because like the weight difference maybe at best is like 15 pounds at this point, but even then it just seems pretty noticeably different, and that was a little encouraging. I actually was like very happy to see that because I've been discouraged kind of closing out the year starting this year because I thought I did pretty good in terms of like diet wise, like dieting, but it just hasn't been as good as I thought. I guess I think that's been one of my pitfalls, honestly, something I might really want to work on, tighten up if I really want to lose more weight, keep more weight off. But needless to say, I've kind of gained more weight than I wanted to see. But it's nice to compare how I look right now. I still look a lot better than even last year when I was at it hard. So I'm hoping that I continue to make the physique changes, even though the number on the scale isn't necessarily what I want to see right now. And I know every time I mention this to my friends, they're like, hey, the scale doesn't matter, bro. Like, it is a number. It's cool that you hate that the goals you hit, but you don't have to keep living and dying by that. You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, I know, it's just hard not to. But yeah, gym was good. Gym was solid. We get some gas because I had to go to the gas station. Got a little snack. Got some M&Ms. I've been really kicking in the M&Ms into my snack. Like I said, I'm eating it. I'm doing my little Winnie the Pooh, Porky Pig. But yeah, I got some pretzel M&Ms. Those were yummy. Those were good. A fine addition to my collection. AKA, you're going in the nut cup. But yeah, no, had my little snack. Did my little stretch, did some research, and here we are, ready to yap about some news. Almost 20 minutes in, but hey, we had to catch up. We had to do 2 days of blogging right there. There you go. So once again, sorry for missing an episode. I know I said that I was gonna talk about the end of the year and yada 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 and blah blah blah. But I mean, y'all have been here. Y'all have been through with the highs and the lows, the trials, the tribulations, the triumphs. We did a lot in 2025. I'm very happy. Getting over 1,000 episodes. That was so fucking awesome to me. I pat myself on the back every day. Every time I think about that. And I know it's a nothing thing, but I still am excited that I've done that, and I'm still going onward with it. It still feels good, even though I'm a nobody. I don't care. It's still fun. But yeah, just the consistency for me is what feels key in terms of what I'm working on this year. I just want to continue that. Y'all know my gym goals are my gym goals. I'm trying to hit like 405 deadlifts and, really get the 315 bench like locked in, not just moving the bar, actually doing it with good form. That's what I want. I want to see that out of me. But that's gym stuff. For the pod, I want to get back into the groove of doing more guests. I feel like it's been really hard for me because I've just so focused on doing, just everyday survival and then just doing this stuff and everything, making everything work. It's hard. And my friends and people they're living their life, but still, those are excuses. Those are obstacles, barriers that I can overcome. So I want to try to do that. So yeah. So if you're looking to get on the pod, let me know. You're making my life easier by like, getting through that barrier, that obstacle. Cause I'm a little shy. Anyway, but yeah, I would love to have more people on, really get more voices, on this new shit and just talking. I think it's just fun. It's fun to yap. I don't bite. You could have a good time. I promise you. Anyway. I think I always have a charge, but I want to try to do better. I would always like to improve this. Just give you guys a better product, and it just feels better to give a better product. So that's something I'm always trying to work on. But bear with me. I'm just a man, cardboard crusher man. But no, anyway. Otherwise, I just want to keep doing what we're doing. Really, truly, honestly, and I hope that y'all, my newsies, new listeners, old listeners, whatever, that you keep tuning in, you keep hanging out. I would love that. I would be honored, to continue to hopefully entertain you. I would never say enlighten. I don't think I'm really capable of that. But But yeah, we've over yapped. This is overdone. This is overcooked. This is OD as hell. Let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. I'm definitely painting over a crash out that happened New Year's Eve. That's pocket lore for the knowers. But sometimes you do got to play a little tag and tag against some motherfuckers. Don't ever talk shit about my friends, because I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna start barking. Anyway, that's for the knowers. Anyway. Ooh la la. All right, from NBC News. Around 40 dead after fire sweeps through Swiss ski resort bar. Around 40 people are dead, and around 115 others were severely injured after a fire broke out during a New Year's Eve celebration at a bar in a Swiss Alps resort, authorities said Thursday. Calling it an unprecedented tragedy, Vallis Canton Police Commander Frederick Giesler said many of the injured are in critical condition. The priority will be The priority will be to identify those who lost their lives, Gisler said at a news conference. Swiss President Guy Parliament said that many of the victims were young people, and the victims include Swiss residents as well as tourists from neighboring countries and elsewhere. Behind these numbers are faces, names, families, destinies, brutally interrupted, Parmelin said in a press conference. The new year was less than 2 hours old when the fire that devoured Le Constellation in the town of Crans, Montana was first reported around 1:30 a.m. Giesler said. Investigators are still probing the case, or are still probing the cause of the blaze. But Beatrice Pillaud, the Vallis Canton attorney, said they don't believe the fire was caused by an explosion, although the main and working assumption is that a general fire caused an explosion. At no moment is there a question of any kind of attack, said Pillaud. An investigation has been launched, not against anyone, but to shed light against the circumstances surrounding the tragic fire. Excuse me. Pillaud declined to speculate on eyewitness accounts from the Associated Press and the French broadcaster BFM TV, suggesting the fire may have sparked by festive sparklers that set a wood ceiling ablaze. But Axel Clavalier, I'm sure I'm fucking that name up, but a 16-year-old from Paris who survived the fire told the Associated Press he saw waitresses in the bar with champagne bottles with sparklers just before the inferno erupted. So obviously that's just observation. We don't know yet, but that could be a cause. That was the first mention I had heard of one in terms of just hearing the story throughout the day. Let's see here. Firefighters arrived on the scene within minutes, and by 5 a.m., all of the injured were receiving treatment and being taken to hospitals around the country, said Matthias Renard, who is the president of the State Council of the Valais Canton. But yeah, obviously this is a very sad, unfortunate event to be taking place during New Year's. You know, it's supposed to be like, oh my gosh, you know, new year, new me. I'm out with my friends, having a good time, my friends, family, what have you. You know, you do your little kiss, you do your little whatever, you have a good time, you know? So it's obviously a shame that something like this could happen. And I saw some clips and photos from, you know, from the fire, and it was just very, very devastating. I know I don't have any words that would do it any kind of justice, but definitely, I wanted to say my condolences to everyone who lost their lives and who was, affected by this tragedy. But definitely want to come back with a concrete cause of what happened if and when I hear about it. Any more, major updates, we will for sure come back to this story. But yeah, let's move on to our next story. I believe we are going to, the Caribbean. I think we're going to the Caribbean. We're doing, boat watch, hashtag boat watch 2026. U.S. military says 5 killed in latest strike on alleged drug boats. The U.S. military says it struck 2 boats it alleges were carrying drugs on Wednesday, killing 5 people on board. The U.S. Southern Command did not say where it had carried out the latest strikes, but U.S. forces have been targeting vessels they suspect of smuggling narcotics through the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific for the past 3 months. So maybe not in the Caribbean per se, but we don't know. But a strike did happen. Wednesday's strike came a day after the U.S. targeted what it said were 3 narco trafficking vessels traveling as a convoy, killing at least 3 people. It is, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It is so hard to keep up with this because we are just blowing people up every day and like whenever at will and it's like, well, this is supposed to be a deterrent. It's like, it sure doesn't seem like that is working in that regard. But okay, it seems like we're just killing people at will here. But all right, they're quote unquote terrorists. I hear you, Donald. Let's see. I try to talk totals when I get there, or when I see them. In total, there have been more than 30 strikes on vessels as part of the Trump administration's war on drugs, with more than 110 people killed since the U.S. carried out its first attack on a boat in international waters on September 2nd. The rest is kind of recap that we've talked about before, but there's a bit of part 2 here that I want to kind of just move on into. Also, this is a bit of side news. I'm just seeing it on the ticker here. I forgot to talk about it, and Mamdani got sworn in. It was nice. Bernie showed up. I don't know, cool shit, but whatever. From CNN, Venezuela has detained several Americans as tensions with U.S. rise. Venezuelan security forces have detained at least 5 Americans in recent months as the U.S. has built a pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a U.S. official familiar with the matter told CNN. The circumstances of the individual cases vary, and some could have been involved in drug smuggling, the official said. U.S. officials are still collecting information about what the Americans were doing in Venezuela at the time of their detention, the official added. This is a thing, I guess, that's been going on for the past few months. It's unfortunate, but I wouldn't say it's very surprising. They mentioned that, this is a tactic that like Russia has done. When you're in this kind of situation, you realize that, American bodies are capital in terms of, living ones. So it's like, we arrest you and you're detained either for actually something of merit or not. Who gives a fuck? And then they're like, now we have a bargaining chip. Maybe you chill out. Maybe you do some trading with us. Maybe whatever, we can do some bargaining now. We can do some talking now. I imagine that's what's going on here. But I wanted to read this highlighted portion before we move along. Dozens of people were released from a Venezuelan prison on Thursday, Venezuelan rights group said. So there you go. There's some silver lining in this story there. But yeah, I'm sadly not surprised to see that. It is a thing that kind of goes on a lot, a lot. Weirdly, and I know this is bad, but it's definitely like one of my, like, I guess you could say almost like anxiety, superstition things, like, or at least one of the things that I put in my mental ticker to say, this is why I don't like traveling. One of the reasons why I don't like traveling, because my dumbass would like fuck around and get locked up abroad. Oh, I used to watch I watched so much Locked Up Abroad. Now, granted, you can't say that's gonna just, oh, I'm gonna randomly be going da 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 da, I'm gonna just get locked up for nothing. Like, those dudes were doing some shit. Like, oh, well, I went to this country, I was at the beach, and the next thing you know, I got cocaine wrapped around me. Well, buddy, what happened here is you did what you did. So, different story, right? But I just don't want to fuck around and then get detained and then get arrested for locked up forever. No, man, and not to mention that's a lot of money. I have so many reasons for not traveling, and I've said plenty of them already. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. We're going to Iran, and no, I'm not going to do that. That's a bad bit. Anyway, from the BBC, let me drink some water. All right. Yeah, BBC. Iran security force member killed during protest, officials say. A member of Iran's security forces was killed during a fourth day of protests in the country, which has been sparked by a currency collapse, officials said. Citing Regional Chief Justice Saeed Savari, Iran's judiciary-affiliated Mizan news agency said Emir Hassam Khodoryari Fard was killed in the city of Kushtat in the western Lorestan province on Wednesday. A number of members of the security forces were also injured, state media reported. Footage verified by BBC Persian appears to show security forces firing at protesters in the city on the same day. Confrontations were also reported in the southern province of Fars and the western province of Hamadan on Wednesday. The authorities in the capital, Tehran, had declared Wednesday a bank holiday in an apparent effort to quell the unrest, which started in the capital on Sunday. The semi-official Fars news agency reported that a 21-year-old member of the Basij, I'm sure I'm fucking that up, a paramilitary force linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guards, or the IRGC, was killed during a confrontation in the city of Kushtat. 13 police officers and Basij members had also been injured by stone throwing, the report said. 20 protesters were arrested in the city on Wednesday night, the IRGC-affiliated Tanzania news agency said. Unrest broke out in other cities, too. In the southern province of Fars, protesters tried to break into a local government building, with officials reporting 3 police officers injured and 4 people arrested in the city of Fassa. In video that emerged on social media and verified by the BBC, a crowd is filmed breaking the gate of the governor's office in the city. Then in another post, security men are seen shooting in response. Clouds of tear gas rise in front of shuttered shops. Across the country, schools, universities, and public institutions were closed because of the last-minute public holiday announced by the Iranian government. It was ostensibly to save energy because of the cold weather, though it was seen by many Iranians as an attempt to contain the protests. Also, it's worth noting here, I kind of want to make an aside, the way that they're doing, like the government is responding to these protests, well, you can still say is a level of brutality for sure, is different than how they have responded like previously, which they are going to get to, I think, to some extent. I think they mentioned the Masa Amini death and the protests that sparked from that. But you just see that there's a big difference over time, at least comparatively here. And I mean, there's, speculative reasons for that, in terms of they really don't have a solution here. And yes, you could go to brutality. Yes, there's a chance that they could escalate to that sooner or than later, whatever. But like right now, they're like, we need to try this other option because it's not like we can give you anything. Plus, we have other things going on here as well. Like I know they're still dealing with a drought issue in Tehran, shit like that. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure in terms of Israel, and you have the U.S. They actually, I didn't mention that from the whole post Bibi Netanyahu Trump meetup in Florida, that Iran was kind of brought up a lot in terms of saying, yeah, if they rearm, we're going to hit them again. So, there's that whole shit to deal with. So yeah, there's definitely a lot on their plate, and I guess they're saying, hey, maybe we practice a little bit of something else because we don't want to necessarily go to just doing some iron-fisted fucking, control tactics if that's not going to work here. Because then what else are we going to do if we escalate to that? Then we're just killing more people and not getting anything out of it, right? I don't know. But once again, that's speculative. Anyway, let me get back to the article. Let's see here. They began in Tehran among shopkeepers angered by another sharp fall in the value of the Iranian currency against the US dollar on the open market. By Tuesday, university students were involved and they had spread to several cities, with people chanting against the country's clerical rulers. Which I find, like, this was initially what drew me to this story before the killing, was just the fact that this is another situation where you see younger, like the Zoomer generation or whatever, right? Rising up and coming out and saying, hey, yeah, we know that the tensions are really high. Yeah, we could lose our lives. Like, this is do or die shit, but it means that much to us. We want to come out and say, fuck this. Like, this dictatorship, all this shit has got to stop. It's got to, we got to see some change. But and once again, to kind of talk about like a little bit of the more light-handed, nature of it. What is it? The president, Mahmoud Preskin, I got his name right, but we've talked about him before. He definitely kind of issued out more of a very even-handed statement in terms of all this stuff. And it seems to be, once again, very measured and not as hostile to the people. So, but that being said, they don't really have full reins here. This is more of a like, this is going to go to those clerical rulers, whether the Ayatollah or whatever. So, we'll see. Hold on, I feel like I have more I need to read. So let's just keep reading instead of me just spouting off at the mouth. To prevent any escalation, tight security is now reported in the areas of Tehran where the demonstrations began. President Mahmoud Preskin said, the government will listen to the legitimate demands of the protesters. But the prosecutor general, Mohammed Muvahadi Azad, has also warned that any attempt to create instability would be met with what he called a decisive response. So, like I said, they're definitely leaving the option open for sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our last story. We're going back to some, good old Trump verse closing out there. We got to talk about Trump. Trump saying no to some of his own people. For some reasons that we're going to get into here. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. Yummy. All right, from Axios. Trump's first vetoes of second term reject bipartisan bills. President Trump has issued the first two vetoes of his second term, rejecting bills with bipartisan support that would have aided a Colorado water project and expanded tribal land in Florida. Trump appears to be using his veto power to settle scores. Although he said his vetoes protected taxpayer dollars, he also made clear at least one was punishing a tribe for joining a lawsuit against his immigration agenda. Trump rejected a measure to ease Trump rejected a measure to ease payments for a long-planned water pipeline supporting southeastern Colorado, and another that would have expanded the I'm sure I'm going to fuck this up, but Mikosuki tribes reserved area in Florida, in the Florida Everglades. The White House announced Tuesday. Both bills swept through Capitol Hill earlier this month. To override his vetoes, both houses of Congress would need to vote by a 2/3 margin, a feat rarely achieved. Congress has done it before. Excuse me. Has done it before to Trump, overriding his veto of a defense bill at the end of his first term. The Mikosuki Reserved Area Amendments Act would expand the tribe's land to include part of the Everglades National Park in Florida, known as the I'm sure I'm fucking this up. I want to say Ocala, but I think I'm fucking it up. Maybe it's Osakala. Mia culpa is what I'm gonna say. Camp. It also instructed federal officials to protect structures from flooding. Florida lawmakers in both chambers and across the political aisle backed the bill. Sponsor Representative Carlos Jimenez, a Republican from Florida, said it was about fairness and conservation. It's like, this is a no-brainer, like, easy thing. Once again, we're supposed to be in a common sense era with this administration, right? This is good shit. Jimenez's office did not immediately respond to Axios' request for comment about Trump's vetoes. A White House spokesperson referred Axios to Trump's statement on the veto when asked for comment on Boebert's statement. We didn't miss it. My bad. The Mikosuki tribe joined a lawsuit earlier this year against the immigration detention center erected by state officials in the Everglades called Alligator Alcatraz, which has been accused of inhumane conditions. A judge initially blocked new detainees, but an appeals court reversed that decision and said the center could stay open, which is an update for the podcast. I don't think I covered that, and that's, once again, my bad. The Trump's veto notice accused the tribe of obstructing his immigration policies and said the bill benefited special interests. The president wrote that despite seeking funding and special treatment from the federal government, the Mikosuki tribe has actively sought to obstruct reasonable immigration policies that the American people decisively voted for when I was elected. So, AKA, it's like, you're getting in the way of my project, my dirty little fucking torture dungeon project, and I'm gonna make this personal. Goddamn, we love a fucking petty king. Let's see. Talbert Cypress of the Mikosuki tribe said in a Wednesday statement provided to Axios that the tribe never sought to obstruct Trump's immigration agenda. Let's see, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. Here we go. This is the Lauren Boebert quote. I don't know why they just didn't have it like right up front when they mentioned it earlier. Longtime Trump ally Representative Lauren Boebert of Republican from Colorado replied on X, "This isn't over." Which, I mean, isn't saying much. She's essentially just probably inferring that she's going to keep fighting for it. But once again, it's like, this is supposed to be your guy, right? He's supposed to be backing your shit too, right? Why is he just letting you kind of fall by the wayside here? Like, how are you going to explain this to your constituents? And this is all you're going to say? Well, this isn't over. I'm going to keep fighting. But Boebert, who pushed for the president to release the Epstein files, in a statement to a Colorado news station, questioned Trump's motives for the veto, saying she hopes it has nothing to do with political retaliation for calling out corruption and demanding accountability. And the thing is, for Trump, maybe it is, or maybe it's for the other shit. Maybe he's just like, no, that other thing made me mad, and I don't want to fucking, I don't want to fucking support these projects. Or he can always go all the way to the line one that he said, where it's just like, actually, I'm saving taxpayer dollars. I don't care about this project. Like, it's just not worth it to me. So yeah, we'll save money. We'll save American taxpayer dollars, I guess. Now, obviously, I don't agree with that. I think it's fucked up. I think these are good projects and they should go through. But like I said, we have an office, and he's like, no, frankly, I took that shit personally. And obviously, as gross and morbid and depraved as it is, there is, to me, something very human in that. And sadly, you can relate to it. Like, at least me. Like I said, from one petty motherfucker to another, I guess. I don't know. What if I want the fucking satisfaction? But no, obviously boo this man. Fuck this shit. It's not worth it in the long run. It's, it's just crazy that either him or someone in his administration is like, no, we remember. We see your name on that lawsuit, bruh. Even though it makes sense that you would fight this, fuck you for doing so. Oh man, it's a wild ride, ain't it? And and that's 2026, baby. We're just getting started. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, become a newsie today. Get on the next roll call, okay? All right, and then we can get on a first name basis. I don't even, you know what I mean? That's why we don't even need the last names anymore, unless you want me to say your last name. By all means, I will do it. I'll do what you ask. You're my newsie. I live to serve. I live to yap about the news for you. Anyway, hop on that for next month. But yeah, there's also some bonus content in terms of like extra thought stuff that I write out or whatever. Some old, you could say practice episode, lore episode stuff too. A little bit in the crates there if you're interested in that. But yeah, free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Always appreciated. Would you kindly? But no, if you don't, that's all good. Thank you so much. Thank you for, being here for as long as you've been here. If you've been here from the beginning, that's crazy. Love that. We're in another year. Let's fucking go. There's going to be so much crazy shit to yap about. And this is something I did kind of want to close out on. And we're in the bonus, and hopefully no one's listening, so we can just get really real. 2 things I felt like were on my mind the most last year that was like news related. And this is going to sound really weird, but I just wanted to say this while I have the like mental space to do so. And I have the platform. Why not? Tariffs and fucking Charlie Kirk, dude. And tariffs made sense to me, right? Because it was just like there's so much pressure that's come out of it. It's become a whole economic moment and pressure in and of itself, and this is all stem from one man going like God Emperor mode and like just affecting the whole economies of the world with this shit. So that was a thing that we've been just dealing with, and like you just see the ramifications one way or another, right? So that was intense. I feel like even in the end of 2024, I started feeling that shit. So that was something I was thinking about. And the Charlie Kirk thing was just wow, wild, whoa, and just one of those moments that I remember seeing in the break room at work. Holy fucking shit, that's Charlie Kirk. And then like my friends telling me like, dude, I think he's dead. And I was just like, I don't think he's dead. No way. And then he was dead. And I was like, fuck, wow, wild. Well, that's crazy. Time to crabcore. And I know. I'm the demon here. I'm fucked up. I would get laser-eyed by Erica Kirk and it would be over for me. I would never survive her pen and stare. But it's just crazy how it's been so memed, right? And like how even on like the right, like they wanted to make this motherfucker now like their martyr, their George Floyd, whatever. And like even down to the point where the Trump or the America Fest thing, they remade the tent. Like what the fuck? It's just so wild. The changes, the paradigm shifts, all of this has happened because this dude is just no longer here anymore, and how he died, and then the dude who got him is just so crazy. So that's been on my mind, and I know it's like we're at the end of this shit. Why are you talking about this now? It's just something I just came to my mind. I want to talk about it now. Anyway, thank you for listening to me talk about the shit. Hey, here's some bonus content. There you go. Here you go. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.